What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the TradeMarke Podcast. Today, we've got what I think is going to be a very, very good episode for all y'all. We've got a really cool guest joining us today. We got Michael and David Katz from Trio Heating, Air, and Plumbing out in California. And we're super excited to dive in because they've got a really cool story. And I think that our listeners will definitely benefit from what these guys have to share. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Step into the TradeMarke, your go-to podcast for everything marketing in the trades. Hosted by award-winning industry marketing experts Sarah Gerardo from Remarkable and Eric Thomas from Rival Digital. Together, we're here to unite the worlds of trades and marketing, bringing you insights, stories, and strategies from the heart of the industry. Whether you're a trade professional, a marketing expert, or somewhere in between, this is the place for you. Listen in as we're here for the big ideas, the game changers, and the everyday successes. Because at the TradeMarke, we're with the trades and for the trades.
Alrighty. Welcome back to the show, everyone. David, Michael, Sarah, how are y'all doing?
Amazing. Dude, can I just say this is the best opening to podcast ever? I was about to jump in and do some push-ups right now. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like the best one ever.
I love that. Starting it up on a high note here. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. David, Michael, thank you guys for joining us today. Really just want to go ahead and just go around and do some introductions for our listeners. Tell them a little bit more about who you guys are, a little bit more, about the company and the history of the company, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Mike, you want to take this one?
Sure. Well, hopefully, first of all, thank you guys for having us. And I'm always excited to do these things because when I was listening to podcasts years ago, getting into the HVAC industry just 3.5 years ago, yes, the business is big. Yes, the revenue is, pacing 15 million this year, but we've only joined the trades in the industry a few years ago, and we'll get into that. But I'm excited to say some things that will make people millions. So, excited to get into a few different nuggets and different things people can take with them. As far as us, we moved into the US about 9 years ago. We're doing sales mainly. David was always the top producing sales guy. He was always the number one selling guy. I was always the one getting fired. I was the worst sales guy in every company I worked at. I didn't like sales. Didn't make sense to me at the time. I felt like I don't want to give someone something they don't need. But it was up to a certain point where I was about to be let go from a company from not producing. It was a very competitive environment. It was in the insulation industry, 2016, 17, 18. It was the peak of that industry. And I went to David, asked him, what can I do to increase my sales? And he said, just give them good customer service. Just take care of them. Just follow up with them. Just give them attention. Just be who you are with them. And I really took it to heart and started breaking company records myself, became the top producing sales guy in the company, and stayed like that ever since then. So it was just that switch of mentality, which hopefully we'll go over a bunch of these different things that can get you to do this switch in different positions and role to kind of open your mind to that next level. So it was around the time both of us were, I like to talk about how much people make in this industry to kind of open people up. So there are service technicians over there, the ones that typically you look over at the kitchen and you'll see their, pens a little bit lower than they should. And you're like, oh, okay, that's not. And this guy is making $25,000 a month, $35,000 a month. And it's an industry that people are starting to take attention to right now, just like happened to us around COVID time. So David and I had different investments. We're getting into real estate, different stuff that we were doing. And at some point, there's the story that everyone always asks us about, which is when David came to me and asked me, what are you going to do if you're going to break your leg tomorrow for money? Because you don't have anything, right? You just make sales, but what are you going to do? So we decided to jump in, and it was around COVID time. We heard that private equities are buying heating and air conditioning, plumbing businesses for millions of dollars. It was very interesting to us. So we took a stab at it, went to leads for about 6 months, not knowing what heating and air conditioning was at the time, and just fell in love with the industry. And from that moment, we went through a lot. We did 10 million in our first 2 years. Now we're on year 3.5, I guess, pacing about 15 million. Very different industry than what it was in COVID time. But it's a lot more competitive, very rewarding. So I absolutely love it. We breathe HVAC. We love everyone in this industry. So yeah, that's kind of like a short story. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, David, but I think that was it, right?
That's pretty much it.
There you go.
That's pretty much it. That's like the most gigantic, small, big story that I've ever heard. So yeah, congratulations. First.
Thank you.
They're like, yeah, I just, wanted to start an HVAC business. And then we're like 10 million. Now we're going to be 15. No big deal.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Yeah.
Easy peasy. And in one of the most saturated markets ever. Like you are in a saturated market. You're located in San Jose, California, right? Which is where your headquarters are. Yeah. And so what made you choose that location?
We were already here.
So you were living in San Jose?
Yeah, we were living. I mean, we've been working in the Bay Area since we moved to the US. That was home pretty much. Yeah. And so one thing led to another. We've worked at other businesses, like Mike said, in restaurants and real estate and doing installation sales and just working for other companies. We're usually not very structured. We haven't learned much from those businesses. So we didn't have the background. We didn't have something to take with us into the new business we were going. We just brought the same habits and the same mindset into those businesses. And that's why I think we were very lucky to fall into the HVAC industry that have a path for growth that hopefully we're going to talk about on today's episode. And we were here. We were already taking leads for other things we were doing. We already, knew people. We knew the market. And we decided to try HVAC here where we're at. And yes, the Bay Area is challenging. The competition is brutal, and private equity companies are already here, and they are, beating and fighting for every lead out there. So it's definitely not easy. Adding to that, we're in we're in Silicon Valley. Our clients are, they go out, they do their research. You go into their house and they already feel like they're the expert and they know everything. And that's another challenge. But wherever the challenge there's also the opportunity. And lastly, the weather in the Bay Area is, it's not like Vegas. It's not like, Chicago. You don't get extreme cold. You don't get extreme heat. We are somewhere in a mild weather climate area, and that requires a lot of creativity. And that's the biggest challenge. Figuring out how to generate those calls, how to generate those leads, how to create demand. That's definitely the biggest challenge where we're at.
Yeah. And so how do you do that?
Yeah, I think we should really cover, the slow season practices, but I would also just add to what we were saying just a second ago, that I think generally speaking, when you look at, you're saying, okay, taking a business from 5 million to 10 million to 50 to 100, there's all these different phases that you have to go through, but the playbook is already there. How many podcasts can we listen to and, hear the exact same thing until actually we take action on it? So it's a race to implement. That's what it is, right? It's a race to implement, because if you take notes properly, if you understand concept properly, if you're able to adjust quickly with your management style, because a lot of the times people are forgetting that you're 3 hires away from your next 10 million, 20 million in revenue. That's it, right? A lot of the times you are the barrier as the business owner. I'm even gonna say most likely 90% of the times, 95% of the times, you're the barrier from the next thing, right? Because you're the one that's blocking certain opportunities, or you're not going after certain opportunities. So I think generally speaking, you have to become a different manager and a different leader at different stages. So how flexible are you? How much can you stretch your personality and to change the way that you even start your day and go about your day, right? My day used to start with, focusing on certain things. And now it's more about, okay, my first half of the day, 12, up until 12 p.m. from 8 a.m. or whatever it is, I'm working on bottom line, things that are generating more profit into bottom line, and then escalations. And then I go over to the day-to-day stuff. So there's different schedules that you're going to do. There's so many different things, but I think it's important to just understand it's who can implement the fastest, who can grow the fastest personally, and the business will have to keep up with you. That's what I really think it is. But yeah, I think we have a very good structure to slow season, because it was only our second year almost the third year in business last year when we were hit with our first ever slow season. And let me tell you, this was probably one of the scariest and hardest times that we've ever had to deal with, because typically calls were coming in and we were picking up new vans every week. New vans were coming in, and we're hiring, we're recruiting, and we can talk about recruiting too, how to get those top performer people, the top people in the nation, how do you get them to work for you? But yeah, just wanted to say it's a race to implement. Hopefully people can understand you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just got to go and get it from someone. Rob and duplicate, copy and duplicate. Just don't make something of your own. ChatGPT is amazing for certain things, but it's not going to tell you how to get there. There's a podcast that you guys probably have in your database that someone's got to listen to. Take one action item, do it, nail it, scale it, move from there.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks try to nail and scale too many things at once. Like they listen to the episode and they're like, what are 5 things that I need to take away? But it usually it's like, it's not 5 things. It's maybe not even one thing. It might be part of one thing.
Yeah.
And then you just speed to implementation is so huge there.
Right.
Let's give some nuggets on what to do. Like, let's talk about some actionable items, some things that people can take today and start implementing for slow season. So one of the things that we've learned from, and the reason why Mike was saying that was the first time we felt slow season, is because we've grown so quickly that it didn't feel like slow season at the time until we've reached a certain size when it was very, very impactful. And so one of the things we've learned last year, because of the amount of pressure and stress to generate those calls, we came up with multiple different campaigns, right? So one of the things is to understand, what can we do with the appointments we already ran, and start building audiences. If people are using Service Titan, it's very easy to build an audience in the software. So you go in, you determine what are the terms that you want to look at. Hey, I want to see every opportunity of a client that we serviced in the last 24 months with a repair amount that was between $300 to $2,000, for example, and just call those customers and offer to just come back, even if it's for free, and check the status on that repair that was done. Just a quality control check, right? No need to do anything, no need to charge for anything. But the fact that you are checking on this, you now have the opportunity to build trust with the customer, to build rapport, to show that you really care about their system, and to also offer whatever maintenance needs that system already has, because it's been 2 years, and those systems sometimes after, you do it once, you do it twice, and all of a sudden this customer wants to move forward with a replacement of the system, or need to move forward with a replacement. So this was one of the things that we did. Another thing that we did is we shifted our mindset from trying to work on demand for heating or cooling when it's not felt. The pain point is not there. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. We started shifting our mindset more towards air quality. So talking about air purification systems, talking about air duct cleanings, talking about anything
dryer vent
clean, anything about the basic maintenance and health of that unit and health of the people living in that house. So when it's not hot, when it's not cold, sometimes that's the odds, and that's how you should put yourself out there. Mike, I'm sure you have a few more nuggets that we can throw here for.
100%. Hopefully people are, there's so many different messages in Facebook groups. What do we do? Our calls are low, or this and that. So I'm going to just speed through like maybe 5-10 different things that people are supposed to be doing a month ago. But hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, they'll have a little bit of time. But basically, so first of all, memberships, there's all these conversations about, should you sell memberships? Should you not? It's not really profitable. There's so many differences of opinion about it. I think at the end of the day, you can choose to listen to whatever opinion that makes the most sense to you and the structure of your business, because everyone are right and everyone are wrong depending who's listening. So I think it's one of those things where you just have to understand that for us in our structure, and I recommend to come to a shop tour here or any other place to actually learn, because you can spend as much time as you want in a meeting about a meeting trying to come up with something, or you can drive down the street 5 miles, go to a shop, bring them cookies, sit with the call center manager and get the process printed out. So basically our memberships are something that we're doing as a reserve to, first of all, ensure that when and if the other system that we weren't able to get to replace would break down. So we're basically owning that property. That's our property right now. And at some point, if anything will ever happen with other services that we're going to open as well, whether if it's going to be plumbing or roofing, we just added plumbing. We want to make sure that customer is ours. So it's customer acquisition, in a different term, I guess, for marketing. But basically, that's our customer. And the second thing, we're basically keeping those memberships ready for slow season because this is the perfect time. And it works great for our customers because we're doing it right before they get into the season. And for our technicians, when they don't have work, that's when we do the memberships, right? That's what we do with membership. As far as outbounding, there's a few different levels to it. First of all, you get a customer list of all the customers that you have. There's different campaigns that you can do. If you're collecting equipment information, you can utilize customers that their systems are over 10 years, 20 years. That's why we have service time. You can basically launch a campaign that's going to target specifically them with a very specific campaign to the people that are 15 years old or whatnot. We just launched a $15 tune-up for all systems 15-year-old and up. So we did some stuff like that. As far as the actual outbounding process, you can reach out to any customer that you were at their house up until before 3 months ago or 6 months ago. Anything before that, right? It's still kind of fresh 3 months or so. But you can reach out to these customers. At first, you can come with a very simple offer, which will be a tune-up. And the conversation should be really, hopefully people will throw all the scripts that people have. We've been a part of Nexstar. We've done so many different things. But honestly, you got to understand that the market is shifting every day really fast. Really what customers want to hear is someone really nice on the phone that's engaging, that's going to have a good conversation with them. And it should be very quick. Hi, I'm calling from this and that company, in our case, Trio Heating and Air. It's been quite a bit of time since we were out there for a tune-up. When would you like to schedule the next one? You're coming up on the time. Honestly, sometimes it's just that conversation that's going to generate more. In addition to that, you don't necessarily have to force your call center people to just do phone calls. We've had one of our call center representative, she the other day said, I don't really feel too comfortable with the phone call aspect of it, but I'm really good at texting. So I said, okay, give it a shot. She made 10, 15 attempts and booked 5 different outbounds tune-ups. So I was like, whatever it is that you did, just keep doing it, girl. I don't care how you get those calls on the board. Keep doing your thing, right? So it's basically refining the process, trying it out. And when you're doing these tune-ups, if you see that you don't get enough traction, then you move to the other thing. The other thing would be focusing on customers that you've done a repair to, and you reach out to these customers and say, hey, it's been about 6 months or 12 months since we were last out there. This is around the time when we really want to come in and check that everything is still working properly. We have a technician in your area tomorrow between this and that time. Can we come by? And this is going to be a little bit more aggressive approach, right? The forced outcome approach that I like. And it's one of those things that you got to understand. No one's making money from tune-ups. No one is. There's really no difference. And marketing leads sometimes are going to cost you about $250, $500 just to step foot in the door. So it doesn't really matter how you get in the door. Just get in the house. When you're there in the house, teach your technicians to go to the HVAC system. You know what, ma'am? You've been a loyal customer. We really want to take good care of you. Let me run a tune-up on your system. And if something is broken, something is not in good condition, we'll show it to the customer, give them 4 or 5 different options. And, you know, if you want to do it, do it. So I think that's number one, right? Doing all the outbound things. Aside to that, David, besides outbound, is there anything else that you think would be really critical for now?
Yeah. Aren't you guys big on Thumbtack?
Yeah, we use Thumbtack. We use Thumbtack.
Yeah, so tell me about your Thumbtack strategy, if you don't mind.
Thumbtack? Well, first of all, speed to lead is the most important things. And this is why when I'm saying, when we're talking about things to give people nuggets, stuff that they need to do, honestly, is your conversion rate at 90% in the call center? Is your conversion rate on repairs above 30%, 50%? Is your conversion rate in sales on marketed leads above 25%? On tech turn, is it above 40, 50%? If your numbers are not there, that's what you need to work on. I guess whoever has the lowest number, that's your first thing. If call center is doing 85%, but conversion on market leads is 10%, you should probably focus on that. I think as far as Thumbtack, Yelp, all these different sites, we use a lot of AI. So a lot of our systems are automated, but we also don't take away from our call center representatives. AI is not necessarily there yet to give the white glove customer experience, service. It will get there at some point, but it's not there yet. So the way we do it is we have specific AIs that we use. and they respond to the customer just as fast as call center representatives. So it's whoever gets there first. So there's always fast interaction. Your Yelp and Thumbtack has to be at 10 minutes response time. You can't be over that, because if a customer is going online and there's 5 different companies and all of them have the same amount of reviews, because everyone have good reviews nowadays, but they're seeing that all of them are reply within 10 minutes and you reply within 30 minutes, you're probably not going to get a call. Even if not from that customer, then from another one, because I have better options. Why would I take, it doesn't look good. So our approach with Thumbtack and Yelp is respond really fast. Make sure that you have multiple integrations. So our service, our CSRs, they're able to take over a call and hijack. But if the AI is spotting that they're not responding fast enough, it jumps in and takes over the call to keep the interaction going. After hours, we have people that are not just working in the office. We have people working in other places in the world, and they are taking phone calls. So it's a lot more cost effective. And also they're able to take calls in different times, 24/7, 365. So there's always an answer. There's always AI or a CSR communicating with customers. And you got to make sure to give them good service. I mean, honestly, it comes down to it. Is your technician on time? Because we track it every single day. We get a list of all technicians that didn't show up on time, and we go deep into it. Why did it not dispatch on time? What's happening? People are focusing so much on generating more calls, but not enough on doing more with the calls they have. Was the call perfect with the call center rep? Did they put all the notes on the account? Was the technician right on time? Most of the time, if everything is going perfect, typically a sale happens. It's every single call, something else happens that wasn't perfect. Someone was not on time. The phone call was not the best. Someone didn't call out when they should have. So I think if people really refine on the perfect process, you'll notice that sales are just going to come. It's just going to happen. So it's just more about going to these different companies, different shops, seeing how they do their process, blend it with your own, and just make sure that you're top notch on everything you do.
And how many shop visits have you done? Because I know you're out there and people are coming into yours. And
yeah, I think we've definitely had a lot more shop tours here than going to shop tours. David, I think we've done, honestly, total of what, 5?
Yeah, just recently, like since the beginning of the year, it was close to 5.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think
every visit counts, because everyone has different processes and procedures in place. And, you talked about memberships and pulling them in and creating them to have that reoccurring event happen, but also the reoccurring revenue. Memberships are turning into predictive maintenance. And so did you guys get into the smart thermostats like Nuve and whatever and Smart AC? Like those, you want to own the home, right? So you want to predict their maintenance, and that becomes a subscription model. As you get bigger, you will see that your memberships are good for the slow season, but as you get bigger, it's like a consistent, like we have to talk to them every day, and it's automated that way. So then like we don't want them calling when in July it gets really hot because I serviced you in March. Because then I have to take away a demand call to prioritize a membership call, right? So as you scale, you really have to stay consistent with your memberships. But as you grow, you want to create memberships so that you can literally have those people in your back pocket. But you have to nurture them the entire year, right? Because they're just becoming members with you, or they're just experiencing this new service. So don't forget to talk to them. I think that was a mistake that I made at one point because I just didn't know what I didn't know. So that's what I would say as like the great tip that could, as you scale, like there are different parts of membership and as it will grow with you.
You have to beat them to it. I mean, before the customers call you for those memberships when it's hot, when it's cold, and all of a sudden their system is not working, you do that checkup. I mean, there's Nuve, there's a few options to do those things out there, but even just from your own database, just outbounding those calls, reaching out to these emails. You can, again, if you're using ServiceTitan, you can automate a text message campaign or an email campaign so that it doesn't have to be this, manual, difficult tracking, type of thing. You just create those audiences, you set some rules in the system, and you let the system do its job. I also think that there are a couple of things that a lot of companies are not willing to do nowadays, which it's kind of a shame, which is a little bit more footwork, meaning going out there and putting door hangers or incentivizing their technicians. You just had one call. Somebody trusted you to come into their house and give them a service, whether if it's a tune-up, repair, replacement, whatever it is. Knock on 2 doors to the right, knock on 2 doors to the left, as long as they don't have a no soliciting sign or anything like this. Start with a nice approach and just offer them a free tune-up. Hey, we just did something for your neighbor here. We're in the neighborhood. If you would like, I'm happy to give you a complimentary tune-up as well, so that you can see why your neighbors like us so much, and take it from there. Another thing to do is a little bit of B2B. So reaching out to businesses, whether if it's a general contractor, reaching out to realtors. There are some types of businesses that are not seasonal. They're going to need work when they need work because they're building a house or because they just sold a house, and that happens year round. So those are some things that you can do. Go out with donuts or bagels or whatever it is, give them some merch and follow up on this. Go back to their office for the second time, the third time, the fourth time. All of a sudden, the fifth time, they're interested, they're listening, and there is something in it for them, right? Give them a credit of $15,000 for your clients, up to $3,000 per job for your first few jobs. Something to kind of spark the conversation, give them something to benefit their clients and for them. And that's how you start a relationship. Get them to know who you are, do a good job. And all of a sudden, we just got a couple accounts, and I gave them, obviously I'm awarding our top sales guys with the better accounts. And one of our sales guys just got $350,000 from projects from one single account, one B2B account that we got them at the beginning of this year. And guess what? I don't think they're going to feel the slow season that bad. But I don't think that people are willing to do it nowadays. Like the whole door knocking and door handling footwork is just not there anymore.
The door-to-door thing is, there's so much opportunity there. I think people are just scared.
Yeah.
Like
they're
nervous.
They're
in their own head.
Yeah, it's your mindset, right? You're like, I have to go to someone's door. I don't even like opening my door. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I feel like anytime someone comes and knocks on our door, I end up buying something. There's people out there like me that don't know how to say no, and next thing you know, you're putting solar panels on their roof.
Oh my god! I love you as a customer, man.
yeah. If y'all ever expand to Virginia, I'll give you my address. I'm a pretty easy sale.
We'll do one job. We'll do one job in Virginia. We'll open Trio for 1 month. But David, you mentioned something that I think we need to really. I want to get more specific with action items, because we were experiencing it. Exactly what Sarah was saying, as far as it's very hard to do something that you're not comfortable with. I think it's hard because you are looking at it overall. You're looking at door knocking and you're thinking, oh my God, sales process, metrics, KPIs, quotas, tracking, more training. What if we do good? What if we do bad? What's going to happen?
How am I going to make sure my technicians are doing it? All of those things.
It's about I always say the same thing. Every time a topic comes up and you feel like it's overwhelming, that's the moment that you got to write it down. And what you're going to write down is book a meeting to talk about it. When you get into it right away, sometimes people make too fast of a decisions on something because their first reaction is resistance, and they don't even understand it. They don't respond to the thing. They're reacting to the thing. So we can sit in a meeting, they could bring something up, and the first reaction that I would have is, no, we're not doing that. Because I have trauma and history and all these things that we've tried before that didn't work. But guess what? Market is changing, you're changing, everything is different. So I think when it comes to door knocking, what we've done, and let's talk about it, because I know a company, a friend of ours, partners, that they just bought their business and they're doing 30 million in revenue from door knocking. So it does work, right? We need to make sure to really understand that there is a process for it. And if you guys don't know how to do it, you can learn how to do it. You don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to bring someone for $10,000 a day to train your people. This is one of those things where you can utilize ChatGPT really well. I listened to some YouTube videos. It was horrifying. It was 20 minutes, 50 minutes of a guy on a whiteboard explaining the prospects and this and that. Let's make it real simple for you. Did you already get a call on the board? Great. Give your technician some flyers. Go design some flyers. The flyers are going to be a tune-up for free or a tune-up for 48, or a tune-up for 48 with a Sharpie that you can write free. And after that, create a tag in service line to keep track of it. Every time you book it, just put a tag on, door knocking. It's very easy for the call center to do. If you're a smaller shop, you can do it yourself at the end of the day. But have your technician go and knock on the door. Tell the technician that if they book the call, a few things are going to happen. Number one, there's a proof of concept. because you did the work for their neighbors, so they trust you more. People go on Nextdoor all the time and ask their neighbors. People are on the community meeting almost every other week talking about something, right? So that's why Christmas lights are very successful in some neighborhoods, because they just keep the referral going. So you got to make sure to understand that, well, explain to your technicians or sales representative, we call them project managers here, or even installers, give them flyers, give them content to give people. After that, give them the ability to give them a discount, because again, it's going to cost you a lot less regardless. And then afterwards, just tell them, we're already in the neighborhood. We were doing a job for your neighbor. We're actually getting a lot of different requests from different neighbors here. We would love to come into your house and run a tune-up on your system. That's it. It's very simple. Now, hold your technicians accountable and give them something. The fact that there is value to them, great. But why not give them another $50 for every call that they actually ended up booking? You're paying $500 anyways.
For the booked call. Don't wait for the sales to come in. That's not what this is about. You pay them for a booked call.
Yeah.
If you put an appointment on the board, they're already getting money for it. If a sale comes in later, you can give them another 1%, 2%, 3% extra commission on this job. Keep in mind, your marketing cost is probably 5, 10, 15, 20% of your revenue. That's your marketing budget. Giving your technician 2, 3% extra commission on that call to really motivate them to generate those leads. It's a win-win-win for everybody. And you're saving a lot of money on that.
So let's keep going with this one as far as all the benefits in this. The marketing spend is so low, like you said, it allows you to actually give them a higher commission, which is huge. People never think about it. In addition to that, the price per call ran is also very low, because you're talking about, I'm already there, it's for free. I literally pay for the other call. It's either dropping the cost of this other call or for this one. In addition to that, how about recognition? Create a competition. Make a competition, put it on the screen. Everyone has screens in their offices right now. Buy a 70-inch plasma screen TV and put the place of the winner over there, or put the competition with a simple Google sheet. People like to see those things, right? If you have a meeting, we have all hands meeting once a month. We bring everyone in. We go over top performers. We give them prizes, recognition. We talk about what's happening with the business. We keep people aligned, especially in slow and busy season. It's really important. So it's really important to understand that if you attack it from all these different angles and you put a structure in place for training, and you have managers have quotas on these things as well, that they have to do it, and you ask the managers to do ride-alongs with them, and you do meetings once a week in slow season to train them and see what worked and what didn't work. If you're really doing all this work, you're gonna get a few sales. So it's something that people just really have to get into as far as the door knocking. In addition to that, you have CSRs. What are CSRs really good at? They're always happy. They're always positive. People love them. People become best friends with them over the phone. I was a CSR for many years. I was like, you fall in love with me over the phone. It's people that are just meant to do that, right? Have them go and knock on a few doors. Give them a few sticky notes with your brand on it, right? Give them some cookies, something, and basically tell them, you guys are a plumbing shop. We do heating and air conditioning. If you ever get into a situation with HVAC work that you need, we're here. Go to a real estate office. Tell them we have 1,000 reviews online on Google. So there's so many different things you can do, but book a meeting to talk about it. Don't let it overwhelm you. Take the first step. Utilize ChatGPT and other things. If all of this didn't work and you're being very stubborn, I like to call these business owners, they come up with the best excuses to not take action, come to a shop tour. There's no excuse why you shouldn't come in for a few hours and do some things that are probably going to generate 2 or 3 million in revenue per year, right? So I think that's something they can do. On the call center, I'll also add, for outbounding, you got to incentivize them too. Call center representative are not necessarily happy to outbound. It's very awkward, just like door knocking. They also need a process. I think as far as outbounding, the easiest thing you can probably do, that's something that we just did not too long ago. You basically ask them to get 80 calls per day, for example, because there's enough time to do it. We're pretty slow. 80 calls per day. Once you hit those 80 calls and you've actually called and left a voicemail, not just a ring and hang up, but once you've done that, give them $5 for every bookings. Give them another competition on that for the week. There's so many different things that you can do. So I think it's really important to incentivize your people, give them a structure, follow up with them, encourage them, and recognize them as well, right? When they're actually winning.
How do you incentivize your marketer? Do you want me to come
marketing?
On the marketing, everything has a target and a qualifier. So anytime there is an incentive in place, it's always a target and the qualifier for quality. So for marketing, it will be, if we have certain revenue targets, then we'll have tiers based on revenue. Say if our goal this year is 15 million or 18 or 20. So each one of those tiers is going to have a different bonus structure. And then each one of those bonus structures will have a tier based on the marketing spend on that revenue. And so, for example, if we've hit 15 million at 10% marketing spend, then it will have one tier of bonus. But if we did it with 8%, maybe the bonus is going to be double. If we're at 12%, maybe the bonus is going to be half. You don't want to play it a very black and white thing, because you don't want people to be discouraged if, I can already see we're not going to hit our target. So that's it. I'm giving up. And from this point, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do, right? There's still going to be something in there, but there has to be a target and a quality qualifier. It's not just about getting the revenue, but spending, 50% of the entire company budget to make it happen. You want to make sure you stay profitable. And you also don't want to not incentivize them or things that they can't control. So they can't necessarily control, our production team and, labor costs and material costs and all of those things. You have to completely separate them and give them the feeling that they absolutely 100% have control of the outcome. And the numbers have to make sense. If we can't break it down on the board and everybody have 100% agreement on this is how we're going to make this happen and this makes perfect sense and it's doable, then we're going to have to redo it, figure out how to make it happen. But yeah, to your question, target, qualifier, tiers.
Love it. Yeah.
And David, also monthly, quarterly, and annually. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. I think that it's important to make sure that, I think personally, a person should have a monthly or a quarterly, depending on how the business. Some businesses look at it and say, no, we'd rather have a quarterly, because there's a lot of different reasons for it. Sometimes it could be to also keep people on the roster, right? Because the bonus only pays within a few months after you hit it or not. So then even if the person is thinking about leaving, they're like, there's this big bonus I'm about to get. So there's these type of approaches as well. You can, read some books, go online, do a little bit of research. There's tons of benefits. I think monthly is really good, because if you didn't hit it this month, you hit it next month. And I think whether if you go monthly or quarterly bonuses, I think an annual bonus is also a really good thing to have, because even if I'm in slow season and I'm starting, let's say, the year with slow season, depending on the area that I live in, and I'm already like, what the hell is this? I'm never going to get to my, I'm just starting the year and it's like bad. I know that I have time to make up for it when busy season hits. So I think that's important too, just understanding the structure. And this is the most, okay, I'm going to say something that's probably the most important thing overall, because we've done this mistake before. You listen to a podcast, you go to a shop tour, you have a quick conversation with someone at like Ken Goodrich, right? The gurus of the industry, and you don't get the full picture and you don't know their full operation. Whatever we tell you now is not the full thing. There's obviously so many different things that go into it. And this is where shop tour comes in. You have to go and really ask the questions and not rush through them. When you go to a shop tour, do you think you're going to go into every single department and get all the process for all of them? Hell no. You're going to get maybe like 5% of every department if you get the conversation with a manager. So you have to really go with one thing in particular and say, I want everything related to that. And it took us years to slowly collect these things. But if you talk about bonus structure, for example, we have a bonus structure for our production manager, service manager, call center manager. These are all the people, warehouse manager as well. These are all the people that are in charge of making sure that the call gets booked today, a technician goes out today, a project manager goes out right afterwards, and an install crew is there the following day. So this is really important. And their bonus is very simple. They're working off of gross profit. Once they hit the gross profit target that they have, they all get the bonus. We had months where the install department was dropping the ball, but the warehouse was actually helping them get it. Vice versa with call center. So you want all of these revenue facing managers to work off of the same bonus. We've tried it. It worked really well for us. And you want to make sure that for marketing and other type of departments, you give them something like David said that they can control and not discourage them if they lose it 1 month or the other.
Yeah. Eric, were you going to say something? This is such a good podcast. Like, I'm really enjoying learning all of these things. And I think it's really good things for for all revenue sizes to kind of hear of like, hey, how do you start? How do you get here? And then how do you get there? Because what got you here won't get you there. So it's just really, for me, it's really exciting to hear, how you grew, because I can see it. And I can see, how you leverage technology to really push forward your business, but also how you care about your employees and about the motivation behind as you were once an employee. And I can see that. And I think that's really cool, because that's why I do what I do. The same thing, right? I want to give back to people as much as I can. But because I was an employee, I can see all of the different things that I would have done or could do. Yeah, such a cool story. And thank you so much for just taking the time and giving all of this amazing, like, good stuff.
Yeah. I'll give one more nugget that's really important. This is for two things for the situation when people are really starting to think about, we need to get more calls on the board, like right now. Obviously, opening different trades would be good. For example, plumbing, a lot of HVAC guys are very scared of it, and a lot of plumbing guys are scared of HVAC. It's kind of this, this thing. I think it's important to start small. If you're an HVAC company, most likely one of the installers on your team can do a water heater replacement. So start with something small. You don't have to go all out, but you can target your existing database to do it. So different trades are always an option. Second thing, and I'll definitely say that this company is helping us every single year through slow season, Elite Call. Travis and Leslie, their team over there is absolutely amazing. It's basically a service where you give them access to service time. The onboarding is super easy. It takes literally like less than an hour. Once you go into it, they go into your database, they start hitting your customers, and they will generate the outbound calls. So if you can't generate outbound calls, it's hard for you. There's companies out there like Elite Call that would actually go in there and, get the outbound calls on the board for you. And the last thing I would say, Chirp and Marketing Pro. Some people use one or the other. We use both of them for different things. We want to target it from all different angles. So there's kind of, I like to call it the buckets. So I think every business, I don't care how small or big are you, this is literally for any size company. There's automation that you should be creating that are going to cover you from all ends, in the sense that you're maximizing every call. So typically what we do, every day when we finish the day, we go over all the interactions we've had with new customers. Whether if it's service technicians that went out, sales guys that went out to try to sell a job, you have the installers that went out, you have call center people getting phone calls, and every single interaction falls into a bucket. So if it's phone calls that weren't booked, it goes into a marketing campaign that's going to automate them and basically try to recoup that customer and get them again. If it's a service call that was sold but they didn't sell membership, we hit them on the membership. If we sold the membership but not the repair, we hit them on the repair, and so on and so forth. So every interaction with the business should fall into a certain bucket. And you can do automations also with accounting if that's what you're after, right? If it's about collecting payments, you can use Marketing Pro and all these different apps to actually automate to collect more. So it's just maximizing on AI, technology, everything that you have at your disposal. Everyone has service time nowadays, but no one knows how to use it properly, and no one knows where to put their money into, right? It's scary to spend $3,000 more a month, but if it makes you another $3 million a year, was it worth it? So it's just, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. So I think people should open their minds and do a freaking shop tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, this has been a great conversation. And I hope our listeners out there were able to pick up one thing that they can write down and take action on. I'm sure they can, because there was a lot of good stuff there. Just in case any of our listeners are interested in reaching out to take you up on an offer to, for a shop tour, or just to, maybe even just connect and network, how can they get a hold of you guys?
LinkedIn, our email address, you can contact, we have info@trioheatingandair.com. We have contact@trioheatingandair.com. My email is david@trioheatingandair.com. Mike's is michael@trioheatingandair.com. They can call us to our phone numbers. We can drop it, in the information at the end for the description. It's pretty much everywhere. We're very accessible. We're super responsive. There isn't a single company from anywhere in the US that reached out to us and we weren't able to book them for a shop tour within a week. So awesome. We'll make it happen. Guys, whatever pain points you have, whoever was listening to this right now, there are solutions. It's not about luck. we can help you out, and we don't charge for it. It's completely free. We've been there, we've done that. We're going to struggle and reach out for help to, larger operations that already figured things out that we don't even know are going to be a trouble for us yet. So, but we know it's going to come, and we know how it feels. So we're here for you. Whatever you need, just feel free to reach out.
Awesome. That's so great. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having us. And let's do this again sometime. This was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good. Okay. Talk to you soon. Thanks.